Demon Slayer, The Infinity Castle, smashed box office records with over $650 million, surpassing Superman and the Fantastic Four First Steps, joining the big three Asian shows that have dominated audiences this year, from Neja 2's over $2 billion gross, insane, Netflix's K-pop Demon Hunters that surpassed over 325 million views in its first 91 days. I already did a video on it, so you can also check it out. If you like animation and sci-fi movie analysis, subscribe to this channel, hit post notifications to support us bringing you more videos like this. I'll be blunt with y'all. I had just started watching Demon Slayer little over a month ago as I was waiting for the release of Bleach: The Thousand Year Blood War and Jujutsu Kaisen's next season, but with all the buzz around Infinity Castle, by the time I had finished the Hashira Training, I understood where it came from. When Muzan sucked them in, I was so hooked. I'll go through 4 things I liked most about this movie. Number 4 was the most hyped of them all. Number 1 was Doma's personality. Doma first appeared as Upper 6 when he was recruiting Gyutaro. So I thought Gyutaro had actually defeated him in order to take his place, but no, he had actually been promoted. But promoted by how far? In this scene where Muzan assembles all the upper ranks, I was shocked to see that Doma was above Akaza. Like, what do you mean Doma is number 2? And he kept taunting him the whole time. I liked how Doma was always happy. Seeing more of him in the Infinity Castle, understanding his philosophy, made him stand out even more. From when he was a child, worshipped as a deity, he looked down on both his parents and his worshippers, ultimately believing that he was doing them all a favor by killing them so that they could live forever in him. Him being a demon, almost immortal, wild. He genuinely gives Shinobu, the insect Hashira, chances to take him down, to try all the different types of poisons on him. He's also no pushover. When she tries doing the same move again, he displays his superior speed to show her that she should level up. And after unleashing his blood demon heart that shreds her lungs from the inside, she starts feeling sorry for herself. And after a little pep talk from her dead sister, the flower Hashira, who was also taken down by Doma, she gets up and tries to cut off his head for the first time, something she had not attempted as seen even before when she took down Lower 5's sister. She had always imagined that she was too small to generate that kind of force. And even when she fails, Doma gives her the most toxic hug, even crying and telling her that she really did her best and saying that she is worthy to even be eaten by him. Such a lunatic, and yet surprisingly so gripping. Incredibly unique. How can someone be this insane? A friend told me that that's what actually makes Doma a true demon. He reminds me a lot of Mahito in JJK. These two do it for the love of the game, with almost no direct malice. Shinobu's defeat was actually expected because, come on, she was alone. I expected backup to come during the fight, like how Uzui came to back up Tanjiro, but come on, it usually takes 2 Hashiras to take down an upper rank, or 1 Hashira and a number of top demon slayers, which is why I'm very surprised that Doma is going to be defeated by Inosuke, one of my favorite characters, yes, and Kanao, Tanjiro's girlfriend. Wow. Thinking about how difficult it was to defeat Gyutaro, upper 6, Akaza, whom I'll come back to later, and Hantengu, upper 4, it's only upper 5, Gyoko, who was one-shotted by Muichiro. Since he was so lousy and obsessed with his art, I don't even remember him getting a sad backstory like all the other demons in Demon Slayer. We don't remember if he was replaced by Muzan. I did like his design though, always popping out of a pot, eyes and mouth switching places. That was a special touch. The second thing I liked was that the results of the Hashira Training arc were visible. You could see that lower ranking demon slayers were able to take down much stronger demons. One was really similar to the father of Lower 5, Rui, to allow the Hashira to save their energy to fight Muzan and the upper ranks. Looks like all that suffering was worth it. I mean, the mountain runs of Tengen, the punishing sneak attacks of Muichiro, the body stretching horrors of Kanroji, the worst of the worst, the execution ground swordsmanship training of Serpent Hashira Iguro, and the no breaks brawling matches, the Wind Hashira Shinazugawa. My undisputed favorite episode in the Hashira Training arc was I Even Ate Demons. Iguro's jealousy that Kanroji likes spending time with Tanjiro pushed him to make an execution chamber that takes advantage of Tanjiro's empathy towards his fellow demon slayers, allowing Mr. Iguro to pummel him endlessly. I liked when he asked him what crime did the demon slayers commit in order to be tied up like that. Wow. In the end, when he even passes his training, he tells him to go and die as a good for nothing, not to get too close with Kanroji. Poor Tanjiro, he kept thinking to himself, why didn't the guy ever like him all the way up to the end? As for the confrontation with the Wind Hashira Shinazugawa, because he had stabbed Nezuko earlier, the scars that he had all over his body, the cracked eyes, the rough voice, it was just giving Kenpachi Zaraki from Bleach. Full-scale warmonger lunatic. For my favorite lines, the Wind Hashira found Zenitsu trying to run away from him and tells him that then when Genya confesses that he has eaten demons and the Wind Hashira says that he will ruin him beyond recovery and Tanjiro defends him, eventually he says, all this training ensures that by the time they are facing off against Muzan, they are ready to take down and fight as many demons as possible. It might look like a plot device that they just decided that they should take all their time training, that by the time they face Muzan, they can defeat all the other demons, but it's also shown in Muzan's plan. He decides to collect all the demons, track down all the demon slayers, and take them all down at once, as he also took time to track down Ubuyashiki's palace. Imagine if the Wind and Serpent Hashira had actually fallen into the Infinity Castle and Muzan had closed it with them inside. It would have been a disaster. Maybe they would have been able to take down a big number of demons, lower ranking demons, or they would have been able to kill maybe one upper rank, but come on, you're telling me that the rest would just sit by and watch? The third thing was Zenitsu's backstory and big fight. I was super excited by the soundtrack that was played when Zenitsu was falling into the Infinity Castle. I thought he was still asleep, the same state in which he used to defeat his former opponents like Daki, Upper 6 with the help of Inosuke. When I saw that he opened his eyes, I knew he was fully locked in. No longer the noise-making coward, he could tap into his split personalities. Fully awake, fully trained. We got to see that he could only master the first form of thunder breathing under his master, but his brother Kaigaku was able to master all other forms apart from the first form, which was fundamental. It made sense that their grandpa would make them co-heirs of the thunder breathing legacy, but also really it could have been out of love for the both of them. The coming of Kaigaku was a foreshadowing of Upper 1 Kokushibo's power as both a Hashira level demon slayer and a demon. While Zenitsu tried to reason with him, he got to see the actual danger that he was in. Zenitsu blew our minds like when he unleashed the 7th form of thunder breathing. The unexpected defeat over 12 Kizuki on his own ideally made him qualify to be a Hashira even before Tanjiro. But come to think of it, Tanjiro beheaded Upper 4 Hantengu not once but like 3 times, Upper 6 Gyutaro, who are much more formidable foes than Kaigaku, but he doesn't qualify because he had the help of Tengen and Moichiro. This system is rigged! Of course, such a battle leaves Zenitsu on the edge of death, and while Kaigaku is dying, he finds peace in the fact that they will die together until Yushiro saves Zenitsu. This also puts Zenitsu on a unique level of demon slayers who have invented their own forms, right alongside Giyu-san, who invented his own 11th form of water breathing. Dead calm. It reminds me of this online joke of Moses splitting the Red Sea using the 12th form of water breathing. Number 4. The most hype thing about the Infinity Castle was Akaza's backstory. It's the one thing nobody even spoiled for me. They said I have to watch it for myself, and if you haven't watched it, I beg that you go and watch it yourself first, then come back. The memes hit even harder because we saw people saying
he was the best guy around. What about the people he murdered? What murder?
Of course, to begin with, the fight with Tanjiro and Giyu, some of the best choreography I had ever seen. The powers that were unleashed between them. Akaza's campus needle, his hand-to-hand combat, and Giyu releasing his mark for the first time, culminating to some of the most exciting battles that we had ever seen. The only thing before being much better was Tengen and Gyutaro. It was really fitting that the fight to avenge Rengoku, the Flame Hashira, was with a Water Hashira. But looking back at Akaza's past. He was willing to undergo all kinds of beatings in order to get food for his father. But when his father committed suicide, believing that because Akaza had been arrested too many times he would be killed, the first heartbreak, but it was just a warm-up. When I heard Akaza saying that he remembered a miserable life with broken promises, I thought that other people had broken promises to him, but boy was I wrong. Instead, it was Akaza promising to never fail his fiancé and his mentor, a chance for a new life, going to his father's grave to declare that he was going to get married, and yet failing to keep his promise to them because his mentor and fiancé were killed by poisoning. He wasn't even there. He wasn't even there to protect them. By the time he was mass murdering all those guys in the rival dojos that had killed them with the hand-to-hand combat technique taught by his mentor, to never be somebody who used weapons but used his fists to take on the world, we were almost numb to just how evil it was. Not only was his death count so high, the style of killing was so horrific that it even attracted Muzan to come and give him his blood. He could not imagine that a simple human could do such a thing. His refusal to die even when his head was cut off, even when he tried to attach his head but Gyu threw a blade through it, and trying to regrow his neck like Muzan, constantly thinking of the reason he had to fight, because he promised his fiancé that he would be strong enough to protect her. His fiancé begging him to stop, him seeing Tanjiro being unable to use his sword but using his fists and punching him in the same way that his master had reformed him. A very deep internal conflict that eventually led Akaza to unleash his most powerful move on himself. And even that was not enough, because he had evolved so much that he was involuntarily healing. This ensures that Akaza is the most unforgettable character in the entirety of Demon Slayer. He could have been a Tanjiro of his generation, having noble-hearted motives, yet using sinister moves in a crooked world. He basically let himself die. And that moment when he embraces his fiancé and says how he's sorry that he was unable to protect her, seeing also the visions of his mentor and his father, was one of the most heartbreaking moments I have ever seen. Truly enough, I think I almost cried there. But really, as a man, I was really moved by this story. Demon Slayer might as well be the most emotional anime I have ever watched. Bleach might have Ichigo being nonchalant, sometimes being close to death. We always know somehow they won't die. Jujutsu Kaisen, everyone is always just showing off with their power. Once in a while, some of the casters have sad stories, but this level of emotion, imagining a main character like Tanjiro, who is always so kind, even to the demons who kill so many people and destroy so many lives, that he feels their emotions when they are dying. He empathizes with them, even cries on their behalf after killing them. The death of Akaza is felt even through the entirety of the Infinity Castle, especially by Kokoshibo. He was so disappointed that Akaza had given up on his dream to defeat him, because deep down Kokoshibo knew that Akaza was the only worthy opponent he had. Come on, nobody really liked Doma. He might have been number 2, he had no ambition to be number 1, and he was just considered a weirdo and hated by Muzan, Kokoshibo, and by Akaza alike. The only person who actually really mourned Akaza's death, that angry and tore apart, cut through pillars, was actually Upper One. The design of Akaza, the tattoos remind me almost of Ryomen Sukuna in Jujutsu Kaisen, especially when he uses Malevolent Shrine. Akaza's design really stood out even from when he first appeared in the Mugen Train. This means that Akaza has been a standout character in both record-breaking movies. I now understand why Demon Slayer is a cultural event, one of the best anime out there. I first watched Bleach as a kid, then Attack on Titan, eventually Jujutsu Kaisen. I thought that no anime out there could be better, especially because the eye designs of the characters in Demon Slayer were a bit weird, not the conventional type you would see. But now I am sold. The soundtracks of season 1, 2, and 4 are playing rent-free in my head. I can't wait for the next 2 parts where they defeat Doma, Kokoshibo, and Muzan. Muzan is weakened, but he hides in an ever-increasing Infinity Castle, continuously being marked by the Ubuyashiki's Nakime, ensuring that its shape continues changing. A cliffhanger of epic proportions. If you like this video, I'm sure you'll like the one I did on K-pop Demon Hunters, and if you want to go back American, we can look at Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications for more content like this. From Kampala to the Infinity Castle, I'll see you all in the next one.